If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday night. It is 7 p.m. It is time for the Locker Room Breakdown, Raw After WrestleMania edition. I am OMD. I am joined by the Chief Content Officer here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, Mr. Chris Best. Bubba Duke is on assignment with the shoot job tonight. How are we doing, my friend?
Still, I'm trying to recover from the WrestleMania, but we're not done in Vegas, so we got two more nights left.
We're not. This is the Raw after WrestleMania, a night where anything can and probably will happen. And I mean, there's lots of speculation. I'm sure there's lots of rumors, stuff we're going to see that we're not even thinking of. We were treated to some fantastic moments over the weekend. But let's get into it with the review from last week leading into WrestleMania, and we will go over a little bit of WrestleMania as well. But last week we had Gunther addressing Jey Uso ahead of WrestleMania to open the show.
Yeah, and this was a very fired up fired up Gunther, to say the least. Hang on a second. I'm just flicking my Netflix on for Raw here. But yeah, he was completely fired up. And this was, I thought, before WrestleMania, I thought this was going to be the changing of the guard, as it were, for Gunther. Like, it led me to believe that Gunther could be possibly retaining. But I still stuck to my guns and said we were going to get that special WrestleMania moment with Jey hugging his brother. And who called that one? This guy here.
I think we all called that one too.
You disagreed with me, by the way, last week. So did Carl.
Well, I mean, I wanted Gunther to retain. And then, I mean, you're right, though. This was an absolute fire promo. The thing that I liked about this was that Jey didn't interrupt. Gunther got his 10 minutes to say his piece.
Mm-hmm.
And it was countered, rebutted later on in the night. So there was no conflict, no fisticuffs being thrown between the two men leading into WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah, I was glad that they kept things separate as far as they go. So
yes. We move on, then we had Bayley defeating one half of the women's tag team champions, Liv Morgan, going into what was supposed to be her tag team title match at WrestleMania.
Yes, and I'm going to clarify this to everyone out there one more time. Bayley is not injured. This is a storyline that she's doing. We're doing a Who Attacked Bayley because she got attacked Saturday on the pre-show. But what a hell of a match this was. I don't know who could have attacked Bayley, but we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out as well. Great match. Definitely set the tone for what was going to be the women's tag title match, and I really enjoyed everything about that tag title match.
Right.
But definitely set the tone and gave us one big ass surprise that nobody really, not a lot of people expected. Because let's face it, when Becky Lynch came out, that pop was huge.
Right. Yes, yes, it was. I mean, this match probably for me stole the show last week. That was probably the match of the night.
Right.
And it's a credit to what the women's division as a whole is doing, whether it is NXT, whether it is Raw, whether it is SmackDown. WWE have the strongest women's division in all of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Moving on, in a match to prepare him for WrestleMania, we had Rey Mysterio defeat Julius Creed.
I enjoy Julius Creed. I enjoy the Creed brothers, but I don't know about that. I didn't know about this match. Like it did what it needed to do. It told the story of what's going on with the LWO and American Made. Unfortunately, Ray couldn't make it to his Mania match either due to the fact that he got hurt on SmackDown. He busted up his ankle taking a maneuver. I can't remember who gave it to him.
Right.
But somehow it led to Ray Phoenix getting the match against El Grande Americano. And as much as I like Ray Phoenix, and the pinfall made sense because, I mean, you still want to book El Grande Americano strong. You want to keep booking him strong so that when Ray comes back, we're going to probably get that mask versus mask match that I've been talking about.
Right. For me, I'm like you. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of the Creed brothers, but they need to get some sort of momentum behind them. Otherwise, they're going to go the way of AOP.
I don't see them getting released.
Oh, I do. I do. They're too good to be stuck in this. I see them as more of a comedy act as opposed to anything. I would like to see them get some momentum behind them, get into that tag team title picture. And I just don't see it right now with them. They're the ones that are taking the losses for American Made and for Chad Gable. And I need more from the Creeds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this match, again, I'm tired of this LWO American Made thing. Can we move these two away from each other? This needs to be over and done.
It's not going to be over and done, though.
I know. And I'm disappointed by that.
I'm not. I'm looking forward to more of it.
No, for me, it's run its course, and they need to move away from it. Then in another great match, we had AJ Styles defeating Karrion Kross. Your thoughts on this one?
This was obviously one of my favorite matches because I absolutely love Karrion Kross. I love that they're giving him something to do now. Right. I love that even at WrestleMania, he showed up to attempt to help AJ. Unfortunately, it cost AJ in the end. Which leads me to believe that tonight, and we're going to see something more out of AJ and Karrion. And this was a great match, and I need more of these two.
Yes, absolutely. I can do this. We need more Karrion Kross, not only on our TVs but in ring.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just heard a promo from, I believe, this morning. And even at the end, Karrion was like, "This is Killer Kross." Because he said the best advice in this promo that he ever got was from Goldberg, and Goldberg told him, "Be a good soldier." And he listed off everything that being a good soldier does.
Yeah.
And he's tired of it. So please let me get that fire under Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Now up next, we had the rebuttal from Jey Uso addressing Gunther and WrestleMania.
Well, we got the hyped Gunther, or the hyped Jey Uso. And this is the Jey Uso he has now gotten into Gunther's head. And this is why Gunther lost at WrestleMania. Jay was way too in Gunther's head. And
Oh, he was.
And even during that match at Mania, we saw like Gunther just we saw what he did. We saw him doing the same thing he did to Sami Zayn the year before. Got a little too cocky. Well, that didn't pay off in the end for Gunther. No. And now Jey Uso's your world heavyweight champion.
Right. Yeah, we've seen it the last 2 years where the underdog lulled Gunther into that false sense of security, and Gunther couldn't do anything about it because there was nothing he could do.
Mm-hmm.
The momentum was on Sammy's side last year, was on Jay's side this year. On to our main event match of last week with Finn Balor defeating Penta via DQ.
This made all the sense in the world because you didn't want to hurt either man going into this match, especially with the big angle that played out coming out of that match at WrestleMania. That being obviously Dom doing what all of us said at Turnbuckle Studios was going to do, win the Intercontinental title and pin Finn Balor.
Yep.
So it made a lot of sense because now you had all four of these men booked into that match going in strong, and all four of those men came out strong after that match.
Oh, 100% they did. I mean, this was, again, a fantastic match, but you wouldn't expect any less from guys like Finn and Penta who can deliver on a night in, night out basis.
Or even Braun and Dom.
Yeah.
Just overall, last week's show was pretty fantastic. It wrapped up a lot of things for WrestleMania, but WrestleMania obviously gave us more questions.
Yes, it did. But lastly, last week we also had Roman Reigns questioning Paul Heyman's intentions and allegiance.
And as of Saturday night, he had every right to question him. Every right to do it. Because now that I'm thinking back on how everything was, I kind of liken it to Paul Heyman turning on Brock Lesnar. If you remember the build to that, every week Paul Heyman was like, why are you fighting Big Show? Big Show's gonna murder you, basically, is what he kept on telling him. And Brock's like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to destroy Big Show.
Yep.
Paul Heyman at that time was like dropping hints like, I'm going to turn on you without even saying that, you know?
Yep.
And sure enough, big surprise, he turns on both Heyman or both Punk and Reigns. I almost said Lesnar. I kept wanting to say Lesnar in there.
Right.
But now I'm very curious about this relationship that we're going to get out of Seth. And maybe tonight we get an answer out of that.
Oh, I think we have to get the answer out of that tonight. And yeah, I mean, this was something that we all saw coming, what happened in the main event of night one of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's my thought on that. Like, I saw it, but I didn't understand how it was going to play out. Like, I was like, well, what is the reasoning? And that's probably the answer that I'm looking for tonight. Or whenever. What is the reasoning? Why did Paul Heyman do what he did?
Because it was two guys fighting over an ex-girlfriend who's now moved on to the new model.
But now you've aligned those two men in that sense. Because I feel like coming out of this, Roman and CM Punk are probably going to tag team against Seth and somebody.
Right.
Whomever decides this Buddy Murphy is going to come back from AEW and join forces with
Right.
Seth.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be very, very intriguing. I liked the way this was done, although, I mean, to a point, I mean, you can look at it and say it was maybe overdone, but I liked the way it was done. I mean, really, all he had to do was turn on one to align with Seth.
Right, but the way Paul did that, it made it look like, oh, he turned on Punk. Okay, so he's gonna side with Roman because he handed Roman the chair. Then he low blows Roman, and it's like, holy,
Yep. Oh, it was perfectly done, brilliantly executed. All right.
Now we should cover WrestleMania because we've been talking a lot about it.
Right? Well, that's where we're going now. We are going to move into the night one results. As you've already mentioned, Jey Uso defeated Gunther to win the World Heavyweight Championship. For me, I thought the end to the match was rushed. It didn't feel like a proper build to the finish.
And see, that's where I disagree. I think there was a proper build to that finish because you're not going to win. You're not going to beat Gunther off of one splash. You're not going to beat Gunther off two. And Jay, of course, when he saw that, hey, Gunther's laying on his back, I'm going to splash his back now.
Yeah.
And once he got that, and he beat Gunther with his own weapon, fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, when it comes to that type of sleeper hold, because I've been in them and I've delivered them.
Right.
That sleeper hold doesn't just put you to sleep. It stretches your back out too.
Yeah.
So Gunther having that back pain fresh on him. And of course, you kind of want to play it safe with your back. Tap out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I mean, like, great moment. I know as much as I wanted Gunther to win, I am happy that Jay won it. But as our friend Carl stated last week, it's something that we want to see more of. So, I mean, I know we're probably going to get the rematch at Backlash, or maybe Gunther is going to take some time off again. And come back.
Oh, yeah, he took a little bit of time off last year. A little bit.
Or, I mean, we do have the draft coming up. I'm going to assume probably after Backlash. So potentially we could see Gunther switch brands.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another match that really didn't do a lot for me, and I didn't see the injury to how, like, for what they're saying resulted in the end of this match. But we had the New Day defeating the War Raiders to win the WWE Tag Team to win the World Tag Team Championship. Sorry.
What injury are you talking about?
That's literally, I've happened to be right after the match. I'm there, and they were like, horrible injury ends the World Tag Team title match.
To who, though?
Right?
I know, but you read the article. To who was?
I didn't read the article. All I saw was this headline: horrible injury to end the world title match, tag title match.
Because nobody got injured in that match.
I didn't think so.
Kofi was fine. Because I know which injury you're talking about. Which everybody suspected that because Ivar messed up on his moonsault. He didn't mess up. Kofi was out of position.
Yeah.
And he took the moonsault on the legs, and everybody thought he was hurt because that he's fine.
Yeah. No, it just said all I saw was horrible injury. And the only thing I saw was when, yes, we saw the moonsault, but there was also the part where Ivar hit his head on the mat.
Oh, yeah. No, he's fine. There was nothing I've seen. So,
I mean, I know it's, people looking for clicks to use, terms like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, no. But this match really didn't do a lot for me. I wanted the War Raiders to win. But
I wanted War Raiders to win too, but I'm actually glad that New Day took the win because I'm very intrigued to see where they're going now with this tag team title run And it's gonna be like their second or third tag team title run as heels. So I'm a little bit intrigued.
Me too. And, because I'm okay with it because the New Day needed it, because even this heel New Day was already getting stagnant with me.
Yeah, and see, I was still enjoying it myself. We got Michael coming in saying "Dirty Dom." Hell yeah, we'll get to that shortly.
We will.
But
So, and it's just because, again, the New Day, it really hasn't been a lot. It's been a lot more of them getting booed out of the building as opposed to being able to compete.
but that's
So-
but that's what a slow burn to a build is, and that's what they did with the New Day.
See, and I didn't find it a slow burn. I just found it dull, lackluster. Honestly, I was to the point where if New Day got traded to SmackDown, it probably would have benefited them more than doing what they were doing on Raw.
Yeah, but if you look at what they're doing with Raw with the tag team division, they are starting to build that now.
They are. Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
I enjoyed the beatdown Naomi got in this match. It didn't end the way that I thought it was going to end because as you guys saw on Turnbuckle Talk, I played out the storyline where Bianca comes out, she turns heel on Jade, and Naomi takes the win. Now I'm okay. I'm okay with Jade taking that win. I'm very okay with that. I was happy about it. Did Jade seem a little bit green in that match? Of course she did, because she's only been training for wrestling for about a year.
Yeah.
Technically, because I say that she may have been getting training in AEW, but it really wasn't as much training as she is getting now.
Right. For me, this was where night one started to pick up. Naomi's performance in this match was fantastic. Naomi's new entrance and music was chef's kiss for me. It's what really stood out.
Yeah, I happened to remark to Bubba, I'm like, "Ooh, we're getting no more of the dancing Naomi. We're just getting straight up Naomi being psychotic and just going to the ring to beat your ass."
Yeah. Now, I did again reference Naomi with the Owen Hart sort of appearance in her gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
I like that she explained her gear too in one of the promos she did.
Yeah.
She explained like basically the caution line, the caution stuff around here is like a police police tape.
Yeah.
Where she's the crime scene.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah. Now, I initially, I had Naomi actually winning the match. I didn't have Bianca coming out. Now that we're getting this new heel Naomi, you didn't need to have Jade go over. This would have put her over, even had she taken the loss.
But here's the thing, though. Even with Jade taking the win, I still think that this is far from over. And I think that on Friday, we get some more out of it. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I think it's far from over as well. I actually, when we get to night 2, I actually had Jade making an appearance on night 2.
Now, that's something Bubba and I talked about, too.
So that would have, think, really solidified this. And really, really benefited that whole storyline. Up next, really the easiest match to call on the night. Jacob Fatu defeats LA Knight for the U.S. Championship.
This was my match of night 1. And I told Bubba this right away. As soon as I saw Jacob Fatu's music hit, I'm like, this is my match of night 1. And they tore the house down. They tore the house down. And neither one of these wrestlers came out weak or strong or neither of these wrestlers came out weak. They came out stronger than they did coming into the match. And I am so glad that we did not get an interference from Solo.
Right?
It was just straight up. Solo came out, yes, but he came out and he wished Jacob good luck and went back.
Yep. No,
And,
I was great with this. This match here was a solid match, start to finish. One of the best of the first night.
Yeah, and then one of my favorite things too was and I said this to Bubba, I'm like, well, that's an easy WrestleMania payday for Solo. Just come out and say good luck and then go to the back.
Right.
And then we were like, well, unless he's taking on Randy Orton the next night.
Yep.
But no, this match was this was the Star Maker match for Jacob Fatu. This was the launching point for Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
And what better way for this to also be a launching point for LA Knight, who I feel like after the US title is now going to move on to the WWE title scene or the World Heavyweight title, whichever, if he does get drafted, whichever roster he gets drafted to.
Yeah.
If there is a draft.
Yeah. No, I am 100% with you there. And I think you're going to see this is going to be a long running feud. I mean, because if LA Knight does get moved into the world title picture and wins it, Jacob is going to be the first guy there to challenge him.
Yeah, because we've been talking about like, sorry, I just saw a preview for Den of Thieves 2, and I was like, okay, that seems interesting. One of the things we've been talking about as far as the John Cena retirement tour goes this year's, where he's more than likely going to put over or help get over some of the younger stars. So I wouldn't be too opposed if during John Cena's 17th reign, we get a title match between him and LA Knight.
Right. We have our friend the Bulkster coming in here saying he loved this year's Mania. At first he was too hyped for the card, but man, did it deliver. It did. Now, I mean, we're all of differing opinions here. I know for me, night one was a little bit more of a letdown. It was mid for me, where I know Mr. Best really enjoyed it.
Bubba and I came out of that whole show just super hyped, and we couldn't wait for night two.
Yeah. Again, Bulkster, since you're there making comments, again, thank you for all you do and sending us all of the results, because we wouldn't be able to do this show without you. Up next, the Starbucks order, El Grande Americano versus, in a surprise debut at WrestleMania, Rey Fenix.
Yeah, I happened to remark to Bubba when Rey was making his way out. I'm like, well, here's something that Rey can now hold over his own brother's head. He got the first WrestleMania match between the two. And it blows my mind that not even 4 weeks in, they put you on a WrestleMania card like Rey Fenix.
Right?
That just shows just how much confidence they've got in you if they're going to put you on a WrestleMania card that soon. And the same thing could be said even for Fandango, who had his debut match in the WWF or WWE, I mean, at WrestleMania.
He did.
But this was a hell of a match. This was a great outing for both men. I still love everybody's crapping on the fact that Rey Fenix took the loss, blah, blah, blah. He's going to be a jobber now. They're going to bury him. Fuck you fans out there who are saying that. I'm going to flat out say that, because this is not a burial. You got put on the biggest stage 1 month into your career and you take a loss. That's a win in my book.
Right? Neither of them came out looking weak.
No.
For me, this was my predicted sleeper match of the entire weekend. For me, did it live up to the expectations? Probably not as much, because I was expecting Rey Mysterio, but both men delivered. It was a great match. And again, you didn't have to worry about going to that unmasking of Chad Gable that I know you are so anxiously awaiting.
It's going to happen.
It is. But for all of this to happen, and yes, you get Rey Fenix getting his WrestleMania debut in his 4th match. What
Yeah.
more do you want? Of course, he's willing to take the L.
Yeah.
He's a professional.
I mean, when they eliminated Penta at the Royal Rumble, everybody said the same thing. That was a burial, blah, blah, blah. No, it wasn't. They gave Penta a long time in that Rumble.
Yes, they did. To perhaps my favorite result of night 1, Tiffany Stratton defeats Charlotte Flair to retain the WWE Women's Championship.
I'm going to flat out say this. I actually loved Tiffany's entrance, the whole Barbie entrance, who, by the way, Mattel helped construct that entrance.
Yep.
I loved everything about this. It had me on the edge of my seat. A lot of Charlotte matches, I will flat out admit, a lot of Charlotte matches actually do get me doing that, having me on the edge of my seat on who's going to win. Because Charlotte, despite me not liking her character, and again, I've said this before, it's not that I don't like Charlotte, I just don't like her going after the title all the time.
Right.
This was the Star Maker match that we all said it was going to be for Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
She's getting that pin over Charlotte has just elevated for her from here to up here in the stratosphere now.
Yep. And I mean, if you take a look at Tiffany in her first year, Miss Money in the Bank.
You're talking first year on the main roster. Of course.
Miss Money in the Bank cashes in and pins Nia Jax. Defeats Bayley in an instant classic matchup on SmackDown for the title.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've just gone and you have beaten Charlotte Flair. Yes, you got the Charlotte Flair rub. And again, I'm not a big fan of Charlotte constantly being in the title picture. I think we're all tired of that. This was, I think, a case of Charlotte doing what was right for the business and not for herself.
Yeah.
This match delivered. This was one of my top matches of the night.
And now I'm gonna critique Tiffany a little bit. There were a few fumbles in the match I noticed, but I chalked that up to nerves because WrestleMania, again, like every wrestler will tell you, like their first WrestleMania, they were a bundle of nerves going into their first match.
I mean, there were incidents that happened on both sides, both Tiffany and Charlotte. The way they moved on and recovered and just continued on with the match, it was a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
This match really delivered. And yes, you're right. This was the star-making performance for Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. Where do we see? I'm not going to even venture a guess as to where we go with Tiffany next, because I'm going to say tune in Friday night for the SmackDown Security Detail to find that.
Yeah.
Just a shameless plug for that show.
Yes, yes. And then our main event of night 1, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. What a triple threat.
Dude, the story these guys have been telling since the Royal Rumble. Yes. And again, like, because I was talking, OMD and I were talking about this earlier. Like, we all figured that Paul Heyman was going to turn on both Roman and Roman and Punk, but I just couldn't see how that was going to play out. And now that I saw how that was going to roll out, I'm more curious now about what answers do we get out of Paul Heyman? Do we get them tonight? Did he give his answer on the Pat McAfee show? Because he was there. He was on that show today too.
Right. This was, again, I mean, and I love the way they did it. I love the way it came together. This was 2 visionaries, 2 revolutionaries, 2 architects coming together to create something beautiful. This was artistry at its finest.
You say 2, I say 4. Because it took all 4 of them to tango.
It did, but I'm talking about the Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman alliance.
Yeah, and I'm talking about CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman all coming together to make this work.
I know. And then I actually saw some post-show footage with Roman sitting on the apron. Punk, after about 5 minutes, finally sat up, looked over, and Roman's still there, head hung low, until he gets up, and then he looks back, and he and Punk just sort of looked at each other. Nothing said, not a head nod, nothing. It was just...
Something tells me that there's going to be an alliance between the two because they're going to want to get their revenge on him in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
And Seth is going to want to find himself a buddy to help him out with. And
Yep.
I said Buddy Matthews before the show or earlier, but I don't think it's not going to be Buddy Matthews because I know that he just signed an extension with AEW. So
Yes.
but he's going to want to find himself a partner.
Yes, he is. And who is somebody that is going to want to team with Seth Rollins?
Well, I mean, Becky Lynch, but she wouldn't be able to stand up to Punk and Reigns.
No.
She may be tough as nails, but yeah. That's again, maybe we get some answers here in 23 minutes when Raw goes live.
Yes, yes. Anyways, let's move on quickly and cover night 2 here before we flip over to Monday Night Raw. And to start off night 2, we had Io Sky defending and retaining the Women's World Heavyweight Championship again in a triple threat match, defeating Bianca and Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, I hope to God she went and seen a chiropractor because the way she took that moonsault at the end, Rhea Ripley was folded in half because of that. But what a triple threat match this was as well.
Right?
This was the match that I was looking forward to the most for night 2, other than the Randy Orton, the surprise matches that, well, I'll call them the surprise matches that we saw.
Mhm.
I'm very happy that they did play out the story that we all suspected it was, the story that we've been pointing out, the whole overlooking Io Sky, and that's exactly what had happened in this match because the entirety of the match was mostly Bianca and Rhea trying to get to each other
Yep.
with Io coming in and attacking when she needed to.
Yeah. It was this match that I actually had Jade coming out to run interference and take out Bianca
Mm-hmm.
and point the finger at Bianca saying, you and Naomi executed this. I'm glad we didn't get it.
And see, that's why I think we're going on Friday because now we're probably going to get Jade coming out unless Bianca's a Raw person. We could even get it tonight. Who knows? Because everybody from all the rosters are still in Vegas.
It's all hands on deck, and this is the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like Jade's probably going to come out and be like, I may have destroyed Naomi, but I didn't destroy everybody who attacked me.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, I'm okay with this. This was a fantastic match. This delivered. I do think that the Bianca Naomi Jade situation needs to be saved for SmackDown. Bianca is still a SmackDown superstar technically, but because it's WrestleMania season, you're getting all of the crossover.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, outside of, you need to have some surprises tonight, some surprises on Friday, potentially some surprises tomorrow on NXT, which will take place at 8 o'clock during Turnbuckle Talk, which takes place at 8:05 right here on Turnbuckle Studios. Figured I'd better give us a plug for that one.
Yeah.
Sin City Street Fight Drew McIntyre defeats Damian Priest.
Kerry King for the win on this one. He fucking tore the house down with his guitar work. God, I love Kerry King as a guitarist.
I had read earlier in the day that it was actually supposed to be Slayer.
It was
playing
all of
him out.
Slayer. Slayer was playing. The rest of Slayer was playing somewhere else in the arena. Kerry King was just there as the lead guitarist because I mean he's the lead guitarist of the band.
Yeah.
And it at first when I read about it earlier in the day, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. But then I remembered a couple weeks ago on Turnbuckle Talk, we reported that Damien was going to be hosting several of their concerts on their current world tour that they're doing.
Yeah. It's one concert, and it's funny because
they tacked on a few more since then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because it's funny because after we covered that, the next day it was like, oh, Damian Priest to host Slayer's only U.S. show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not their only U.S. show.
Yeah, they tacked on a few more dates because Damien had so much fun doing it.
It was funny because like the entrance, I mean, you utilized Doom the Dark Ages for this match.
Well, okay, yeah, that had me and Bubba confused because we didn't know that there was another Doom game on its way, and I'm like, dude, that mask looks like Master Chief. Is there a Halo game coming on the way? Because the mask did look Halo,
it does.
Master Chief like, you know.
Yep. And I thought that at first too, until I saw
Drew's music, and then it said Doom, the Dark Ages all along the aisleway. And like, oh, a new Doom game coming. Okay.
Yeah, it's due out next month.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was like going into this match, and I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, Drew is wearing silver and black, which are the Raiders colors for Vegas. And he's the heel. So he's wearing home team colors. Why is Priest wearing black and gold? My buddy sitting beside me was like, well, what about the Golden Knights?
Yeah. But here's something that I think it would have made a little bit more sense as far as Drew's entrance go, because after the match, they put on a hell of a match, but I'm just going to briefly skip over the match. After the match, they played the Doom Dark Ages commercial. I think it would have made more sense if they played that commercial prior to the match so that we have an idea of what Drew was coming out and doing.
Right.
No, these two guys put on one hell of a match, and I got to say the bump that scared me the most was when Damian Priest went for the old school. And Drew shoved him off the top rope and into those two tables.
Yep.
I mean, I think it might have scared Priest a little bit too, because you saw him protect himself before the push even happened.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see that the hand go up behind the head.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a scary spot. For me, it was the finish was, I mean, beautifully done, that Claymore into the chair between the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
But that literally, that scared the hell out of me, because I'm like, okay, so Priest is out now with a concussion.
Yeah, I don't think Priest is out. Priest is tougher than anybody thinks, and he'll be back.
Oh yeah, he will.
But I'm glad that I think I went with Damien to take the win. I'm glad that Drew got the win, because now we can finally finish off this whole everybody screwing Drew storyline.
Yeah.
And now Drew can focus on going after whoever the champion is, whether it's Jay or John.
Yep. I think, and I wanted Drew to win, but I took Damien to win, so I'm glad Drew won. I think you're still going to see him go after, I think you're probably going to see him now go after a soon-to-be face, Solo Sikoa, blaming him and the new bloodline for still screwing him out of the title.
And how fitting is this, that for 2 years in a row, Drew and Damien had the second match on night 2.
Right?
The Money in the Bank cash-in last year counts as a separate match.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Next up, the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental Championship. Dirty Dom defeating Penta, Finn, and Braun Breaker. As we all called, Dom pinned Finn to win.
Yep, and all four of these gentlemen, like I said, are already they all came in, they all went in strong, they all came out strong. Now we're gonna see that that chicken shit heel in Dom running, and I mean he's gonna have to run because not only did he tick off Finn Balor or Penta, but he's got Braun Breaker now ticked off at him, and sure, you can tick off these two guys, but you don't want to tick off Braun Breaker.
No, no, you don't. I have a very funny feeling I think we're going to get, before we get Braun Breaker and Dom, I think we're going to get Dom and Finn one-on-one for the belt.
Yeah.
And not only that, if Finn loses, he loses Judgment Day.
I think Finn's going to find his way out tonight, maybe.
See,
But all in all, fantastic match.
It was. I think tonight what we're going to see is Finn say, you know what? Congratulations, Dom. You did it. Yeah, you had to pin me to do it, but we're family.
Yeah.
So the surprise moment of the night, Randy Orton's open challenge.
Say his name and he appears. Dude, I marked out hard and I still am. I'm still thinking about that moment. I know that, you know, I said at the Royal Rumble that he was going to have a match at WrestleMania. I said it was going to be against John Cena because, and he's still angling to get a match against John Cena. Yeah. I now think it could happen at SummerSlam. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I know my boy Joe Hendry lost, but still, Joe Hendry, this did not affect him in any way.
No. Again, I mean, if anything, much like Rey Fenix, this just built Joe Hendry's stock in the wrestling world.
And here's the thing I saw, because I didn't watch the press conference afterwards, but I read a transcript of what Hunter had said to Joe. He's like, this is going to be your first WrestleMania moment of many. And I said this to Bubba last night. I'm like, I guarantee you, once his TNA deal comes up, it's going to be he's going to WWE. He is not going to NXT.
No.
He's going straight to the main roster.
He is. I mean, we sat there and speculated for who could it be. My buddy who was sitting beside me was like, I think it's a little too early in the crossover. And then he's like, wait a minute, this guy has a belt, and all of a sudden, Hendry's music hit. I got goosebumps.
I said it to Bubba as a joke. Like, because I'm like, well, what if it's Joe Hendry? And we laughed at it.
Right.
And suddenly say his name and he appears.
Right. And I mean, the crowd pop.
Yeah.
That was not quite Road Warrior pop, but it was a pop.
Yeah. I got to give credit to Randy Orton though for paying respect to Joe after the match. Yeah, sure, he RKO'd him and he taunted him by doing that camera shot that Joe Hendry always does, but he still hugged him, still shook his hand, and even patted him on the chest after taking the RKO.
Yeah.
So,
and then, I mean, it was a bit of a squash match, but again, you didn't need a long, drawn-out match for Joe Hendry. Now, if we were going to get the Joe Hendry match we wanted, I would have had him drop the belt to Cena earlier this year at a TNA pay-per-view, only to win it back at WrestleMania. If it was going to again be that drawn-out match, I think Joe Hendry could have gone to the ref and said, handed her the belt and said, put it on the line.
Yeah. But I think it's time we move on to the next match because we're really cutting down on time here.
I do, yes. Logan Paul and AJ Styles.
I mean, This match told the story it needed to be told. I like the fact that we still had the usual Logan Paul's crony coming out, but I love the fact that Karrion Kross was there to cut him off.
Yeah.
But I also love the fact that Karrion Kross, once he grabbed those brass knucks, tried to convince AJ to do it. AJ took the brass knucks, tried to throw them in the crowd, but they ended up underneath the ring somehow.
Yeah.
And he came in and took the loss. I kind of knew Logan was going to take the win on this one.
Right. This was one where I had said going in, you can get over without going over. I think AJ actually needed the win more so in this case because Logan Paul is already over.
So is AJ, though.
They are. But in this match, like you could again just see AJ's age really played a factor in. Like you could see the difference in age.
One of my favorite spots in this match was when Logan Paul went to go and hit the Styles Clash, and then you had AJ roll through it, and it was like, let me show you how to do it right, bitch. And then he hit him with it.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, this was my other sleeper pick of the weekend, and I think this match delivered just that fraction higher than Phoenix and El Grande Americano. Next up, another surprise moment. Lyra Valkyria and a mystery partner challenge and defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, all through that day, like I read the rumors of Becky, and it made sense because she was in Vegas, but I'm like, why? Why is she teaming with Lyra? Then I'm like, wait a minute, Lyra's Irish. There's the connection right there.
They had the Irish connection. They have their history from NXT when Becky went down there.
Yeah, and see, Bubba brought that up because I completely forgot that it was Lyra that took the NXT title off of Becky.
Yeah.
But so all in all, this was actually a very good match. I really enjoyed, especially Raquel Rodriguez. I really enjoyed how she was just the dominant force that we need her to be.
Yeah.
And I thought this was Raquel's first match, but first WrestleMania match, but I was wrong. She was at last year's WrestleMania in the tag team women's showcase match.
Yep. Again, yes, fantastic match. I absolutely loved it. We got new champions out of it. And I'm okay with that. I wasn't sure I wanted Lyra to have 2 belts this quickly. But I am okay with it.
Yeah, now she's Lyra 2 belts.
Yeah. So another moniker that Becky can pass on to her.
Becky did pass it on to her.
Yeah. And now lastly, in what I found was probably the most hokey match of the entire weekend, John Cena defeats Cody Rhodes.
And see, this is where I'm going to completely disagree with you because, again, what did John Cena say several weeks ago? You guys will get nothing. We got nothing. We got John Cena coming out to nothing. No flash or anything like that when he because every WrestleMania that he's had since becoming the champion at WrestleMania 21, he's had that flashy entrance. This time around, we didn't get that. We had him winning the title. Sure, it was with the help of Travis Scott, and I was okay with that because of the fact that Travis Scott actually helped and with John Cena's heel turn last month at Elimination Chamber. I was okay with the straightforward finish. I was okay with not with this 10 or 20 people running into the ring like everybody was suspecting. I'm okay with The Rock not showing up. This was a finish that I liked.
I was great with this match not being overbooked and oversaturated. I actually went in with John Cena's entrance when you just saw the black screen and John Cena in white. I was like, is he going to do it? Are we going to get John Cena recreating the NWO?
No, all we got was basic.
Yeah.
And we needed that. John Cena said John Cena, like I said, you get nothing. We got nothing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying about that.
For me, with this match being, AA after AA, crossroads after crossroads. To me, it reminded me of 2020 and Drew versus Brock, Goldberg versus Braun. And I was like, so the match did nothing for me. But we'll quickly cover tonight because we do have both John Cena and World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso are scheduled to appear, probably in separate segments, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, we're going to find out who their next challengers are.
Okay. And then,
that's
of course,
more than likely what's going to be.
And, of course, the rest of the fallout. Are we anticipating any surprise debuts or call-ups tonight?
I'm not saying anything until we watch the show.
Okay. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Best, why don't you let the people know where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at my link tree, which is lanktr.ee/Chris_best83. Tune in, keep it right here in Turnbuckle Studios, because in 3 minutes you'll see me live there.
And with me, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at my link tree, linktr.ee/OMD show. And you can catch me alongside Mr. Best over at Turnbuckle Studios with the Raw Patrol. Thank you for joining me, brother. It's been great to have you back on the show.
Yep.
I'll see you over in the other studio.
Yep. See you.
Good night, all. We out.